Hey everybody, it's Jerry over here in Rogersville, Alabama, and we're here today at Fishlon, and we're going to do a install, but we're taking out a Gen 1, we're going to a Gen 2. Let me show you what a Gen 1 looks like installed. Go ahead and put it right in there. Show all the components. Okay, that's what a Gen 1 looks like. We'll give you a picture at the end of how simple the Gen 2 is going to look installed. I'm here today with John Johnson. He's from Fishlon, he's the owner of Fishlon, and he's going to explain the Gen 2 to you right now. And we got it laid out right here on the table.
All right, so the Gen 1 obviously is a very, the difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2. Gen 2 is a good bit smaller unit. We reduced the outputs from 4 tubes to 2 tubes, and of course you still got your power output. We did away with the external bracket, and now you just have 2 simple small filters, which these require an annual change versus 2 changes per season on the other unit. You'll get a package of hardware which will have mounting brackets in your one-way valve and your T's. The unibody's been reduced down to a flow block, considerably smaller, and the specialized stones that we used last season, we've done away with, and we're now down to 4 very simple, easy stones that you can pick up just about anywhere. All of the external valves have been excluded, they're gone. Everything is now internal, so it's a lot smaller system, a lot more efficient system, and the performance is significantly better.
Can we approach the subject of parts per million?
Yes.
What you think the Gen 1 does and what the Gen 2 does, just ballpark range?
The Gen 1 would yield you somewhere around 15 parts per million in tap water. Now, and I always emphasize tap water because tap water is clean. Tap water you're always going to get a higher ppm out of because there's no dirt, debris, or anything in it. And each lake is always going to differ depending on where you're at and what time of the day that you pull that water in. Tap water is always going to seem to be a lot more consistent. So I always emphasize tap water. But on our Gen 1 system, we would get anywhere from 15 to maybe high teens in ppm on those 8-hour tests. And this Gen 2 system, we're in the mid-20s, leaning pretty high, sometimes as high up in the 30s.
I find it incredible because I've been running the Gen 1 for a year now, and I get comments when I go to the bump tank, man, your fish are crazy, your fish so active, they're in great shape, I don't lose any fish. So I find it blows my mind that you're going to improve something that's already working flawlessly, so this is just going to be a plus. Now, what is it typically, I know we don't have a typical because we're taking the Gen 1 out, but if I didn't have the system in, how long would it take you to install this in a brand new boat?
About 2 hours, if I was doing it by myself. And the hardest part about this is running your power cord, because you've got to run, the way that we typically would do this is we'll pull an accessory switch from the dash, and running that power cord from it back is normally the most time consuming by a long shot. You'll get 4 vibration isolators that come with the system, and you simply just take a template, you mount it set it on the floor, mark your holes, you drill those, put your isolators in, and you set the unit on top of them and put the bolts down on it, put the nuts on it. And from there, it's just a matter of plumbing it. You'll penetrate the live well with a single 1/4-inch tube, just like you did the first system.
Okay.
So if you're swapping out from a Gen 1 to a Gen 2, it's a pretty quick process because a lot of your stuff already exists, especially your power cord. But it's not a complicated process. It's pretty straightforward. But we knew that one of the reasons that we knew we had to simplify the system. We knew we had to get rid of the valves because that was, I think, our #1 complaint from our users last year is the valves. A lot of times people were forgetting to close those, and if you didn't close those, your filters would prematurely expire because they would absorb the moisture.
Gotcha.
So this year we went and we put all of that internal, and it does it itself, so we don't have to worry about forgetting that anymore.
Awesome. Well, let's tackle this and we'll show you with a finished product after the Gen 1's out and the Gen 2's all installed. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, we're back. The install's done. John, it took you, man, maybe an hour if that, but it helped because the other one was already installed, so we got to use a couple other things. But Have a look in there. Look how simple this is now. Show them that thing. Tip that right down there. Show them that. Look at how simple that is. Yeah, that's it. All the valves gone. Now it's like so simple. Turn on the power and you're running. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And man, remember what I always say, fish care is the most important thing. I've been on the losing end and had a fish die right at the bump tank. Cost me $36.25. I'll never forget that. Moved me from first to second. So y'all just need to get one of these. It's well worth it. You're giving back to the sport. And you know, the key thing is when we release fish at a tournament, if you don't have one of these, you don't know what kind of shape they're in. You know, you don't know if they're going to live down the road or not live down the road. So man, add one of these and take care of our sport, especially for the younger people.
Yep. And remember, guys, when you're, it doesn't really matter what organization you're fishing with and how much care they put into fish care at the weigh-in. Fish care starts in the morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning in the boat. Fish care always starts in the boat at that first fish that goes in the live well. So make sure you're taking care of them, giving them the best possible chance to survive from that very first cast.
Perfect. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. John, it's been fun, brother. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're one of my best sponsors. My grandson Hunter, he's talked about the fish lung. He'll never be without one. He's a young kid that needs these fish to be around. Go Google it, look at it, call me up, email me, whatever you want to do. I'll explain everything to you. You got to get one. Thank you, everybody.